All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Give us 1 second to make sure we on. All right, we good. All right, shalom. Before we get started with this lesson, we want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect that sat here laboring in all truth and sincerity. To you, we say shalom. All
Shalom.
right. So this is brothers from Great Millstone, Charlotte, coming back with another Lord willing edifying lesson to feed the elect of the nation of Israel. And pretty much in this lesson, we wanted to go into, all right, how this title "Black" that was given unto our people, how this was a snare unto us to keep us in a dead state. All right, because this whole system of Babylon the Great America was pretty much predicated on our people being disconnected from our power, which is, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, who the world enemy calls God and Jesus Christ. All right. So us being, stripped of our nationality, being placed, with these different proverbs and bywords, but the main covering that our people have clung to, and that has been a major snare to them is this whole, black culture, black this, black that, everything, blickety black, man. This is all, covering our people refuse to let go, but don't realize how detrimental it has been to them, man. If you got something now, you go ahead.
This is Dabariam Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. It says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee." And pretty much, that's essentially what happened. We essentially became proverbs and bywords, and ultimately, that word black. Jake subscribed to that, and I want to get this word for proverb, or excuse me, byword, and it says Shanyana or Shanayana, and it says sharp word, sharp cutting word, a taunt, a guide. It says something pointed. I'm going to the commentary. Excuse me, the Strong's Chaldee. It says sharp or pointed saying. So essentially, when we look at that word for black, really, it's meant to be I guess degradation, or it's meant to be something negative. You see, but Jake subscribes to that, not understanding that ultimately it's really tearing us down.
Right.
Because really, we're the Israelites.
Right. Yeah. We're the Hebrew Israelites. We're not black Hebrew Israelites. We
Mm.
are Hebrew Israelites because not only is that black, a spell that was cast upon our people, but it's also, being used to categorize us, within Esau's different, hate groups and all these different things to make it to where they can roll on us, man. All right. So what was the inspiration behind this video is what we had. Well, I have found this video, from watching. I think it was the elder in L.A., Elder Barack, and when you look at this just goes into detail of how pretty much deep of a hole our people have fallen in since us losing our heritage, man. All right, we have been placed in a system that was set up from the beginning to keep our people, from succeeding, man. You know, so we're gonna play this real quick and then get into some scriptures.
What is Black's Law Dictionary? Black's Law is the law of commerce. Black means a dead entity. These are things that don't physically exist. They exist because of agreements that are in your mind. These are trusts that are created. These are the laws and guidelines that those trusts must operate under. These are not rules for you. These are rules for commerce. This is rules for business. Everything in here is commercial. Okay? These are commercial terms to be utilized by the living man so that you can speak in the language of the dead. Okay? This is a necromancer's book. First, there exists no nation of Black Americans, nor is there a Black American in any documented record the world over. Black Americans are what is referred to in law as a misnomer or collectively misnomers. As you well know grammatically, black is an adjective and is not a proper noun. Socially and politically, black implies civilir mortis, which means dead in the eyes of law. Black American is not a nationality, nor is it a nation. Therefore, black has no political interest nor powers in the free national constitutional that was prepared for all free national beings. All right, so for all intents and purposes, black meaning dead. You just type that in real quick, right? And mourning, black death, civiliter mortis. In a legal context, black can imply civiliter mortis, which means dead in the eyes of the law.
All right. And this is essentially what our people, don't know. Real quick, could you get Habakkuk, Hosea 4:16 or 4:6, Salaki?
Con. This is Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
Right. And this is why our people are destroyed, man. Our people are dead because they don't, know who they are. They don't know who the power is. They don't know the system that we have been brought over here into and how, it's been set up to keep you, destroyed, man. Okay. So this is the number one thing that, our people have to do first and foremost is repent and, begin to seek the Lord so that you can know who you are, man. All right. Our people, go into all these different religions because they don't have a true covering, man. All right. The covering that are supposed to be under, like you said earlier, knowing that we are the true Hebrew Israelites, man. All right. We're not black. We're not, Mexican. We're not Hispanic. Not Native American. We are Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay. So with that being said, we understand that Esau Edom had to do this because he wanted to make sure that you stay separated from your power. All right. Could you get Jeremiah 17:4?
Con, this is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I
Mm-hmm.
will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye
Right.
have kindled.
What you got,
Keep going.
Sawyer? Yeah.
Okay. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. So we fell away from our heritage. All right. When we were brought over here, in chattel slavery, after we fled, 70 AD and was in, mainly the western and northern part of Africa. All right. We know the Edomites along with the Hamites and Ishmaelites came together to put our people in, slavery. And when we were brought over here to the Americas, dealing specifically with the so-called Negro, all right, the tribe of Judah, or you could say, the Southern tribe all general, but mainly, the tribe of Judah. Okay, we had this, nationality black pretty much, put on us. But before it originally was called black, we had, different names that was put on us leading up into that, man. All right, because we knew we were Hebrew Israelites prior to coming over here to America. We know we spoke Hebrew. All right, we knew what tribe we came from and everything. But over the years of being on that plantation, all right, the devil pretty much beat our heritage out of us. Like when you watch that movie, Roots, with Kunta Kinte, all right, he essentially made the whole nation of Israel Toby's, man, to where we weren't allowed to call ourselves Hebrew Israelites, all right. We had to call ourselves what the slave master wanted to call us, which is, pretty much saying we weren't a people, all right, because when you look up the definition of black, all right, black means to be, dead, to be void of light, evil, and that's the image that you were portrayed as all throughout America, man. All right, and you look at the old school movies, you see Hollywood. All our people are put at as villainous roles, man. All right, we're looked at as the scum of the earth. That's the connotation that black gives, man. All
I
right,
got, I
you
got
got
that
some.
definition.
You got it.
This is Merriam-Webster definition for black. It says of relating to so-called black people, and often especially to so-called African American people or their culture, and that's what how Esau uses it. It says dressed in black. It says dirty, soiled, characterized by the absence of light, reflecting or transmitting little or no light. It says thoroughly sinister or evil, wicked. It says indicative of condemnation or discredit. It says connected with or invoking the supernatural and especially the devil, very sad, gloomy, or calamitous, marked by occurrence or disaster. It says characterized by hostility, angry, discontent, and which it keeps going on and on. You see, but all of these things, Esau essentially put on Jake. You see, and you know that's essentially the spirit and the characteristics that Jake has subscribed to and put on. You see, but that's not what Jake is essentially is in reality. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's important for you to know your history, know why these things have happened to you, know where you go back to. Because see, if you just allow Babylon the Great to dictate the knowledge that you know, all Esau is going to tell you that you have no history before he came and put you on those slave boats, man. All right. That your whole existence is predicated on being a slave, man. But they don't tell you of our true, covering, man. Okay, as being, like I said, Hebrew Israelites, man. The real Hebrew Israelite, not those people over there in the land of Israel today, man. Those are imposters, man. They are the true black people. All right, just like we're the true white people. When you watch that movie, X, with Denzel, when he was, doing the autobiography of Malcolm X, it's a scene in that movie to where they show you that, like you just read the definition of black, and he saw how that's nothing but negative connotations. And then when you look up the definition of white, it was it says things like pure, angelic, godlike, innocent, and you see the play on words, man. You see how this this shit is witchcraft, man. The English language is witchcraft, and this whole system is set up on witchcraft. This is why when you heard the guy breaking down in the video the blacks, the blacks law, dictionary, like you said, that's a necromancer book, and this whole society is rooted in witchcraft, man, to keep you stupid, to keep you black, all right, to keep you dead, man. All right. And this is why when you look at black culture in a nutshell, all these things about black culture have been snares to keep you in this state, man. From the music to the entertainment, all right. Even to when Jake try to, do something prosperous for himself, man. All right. Yeah, Jake take pride in Black History Month. But really, what is Black History Month predicated on, man? Yo, quote unquote achievements here in Babylon when we did shit way greater than this, man. All right. Because most of your so-called Black history heroes, all right, they really were slaves, and one of them being Al Sharpton is the reason why you call yourself an African American. All right. Two, you call yourself at two so-called white men. All right. None of these things that you see on the screen, this is where you people go back to, man. You're not a nigger. All right, because all nigger just means is black. Nigger's in the Bible. All right. That's an old name that we were called. You know what that's at? Can you grab that real quick? That's an
Con,
act.
this, this Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. It says, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manon, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul.
Right. So nigger has been, a name that they called us, man. All right. So this is nothing new. Like scripture said, there's nothing new under the sun. But see, our people have tried to find the true covering. All right. This is why you go under so many different names. You call yourself a Asiatic black man, a Afro American. You call yourself some more titles, a Nubian Egyptian. You know, whatever, a Moor. All these false titles, man. But these are things that Esau set up to make it to where you don't know who you truly are, man. You got something else?
Khan, this is Mashallah, Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 16. It
Mm,
says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead." And
right.
ultimately, Jake, being in Esau society and subscribing to his philosophies, Jake is just doing nothing but wandering out of the way of understanding, because let me get this word for dead, you know, and it says this word for dead, it says Rab Ayam, and it says flaccid, feeble, it says weak, it says therefore weak and languid like a sick person, because Jake is spiritually sick. Jake ultimately, the mindset that Jake is in, in what Esau has given Jake, 2/3 of Jake, essentially it has Jake at his low vibrational state, and Jake really loves. Jake is super resilient in these different mindsets. You know.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the reasons why they can't shake that shit, man. You know, they look at that as being their real covering, but like we read earlier in Deuteronomy 28 and 37, that reason alone is why you can't prosper, because you're operating under a false pretense. Okay, you don't know the Lord. This Here it is. You calling yourself black. The black Christian church, they worship a white man. You know, everything about black is dealing with inferiority. All right, dealing with confusion. You know, non-prosperous ways. This is why the black community can never overcome, because you were never meant to overcome, because being black is meant to keep you down, man. You know. I'll put this
I
on
got a quick
screen.
one.
Go ahead, you got it.
It's Isaiah 30 and verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." The rebellious children being 2/3. It says that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering. Because covering, when you cover something, you're looking for some type of defense. It says,
Mm-hmm.
but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit. They ultimately looking for some type of other means, to cover themselves to get some type of defense. And that consists of seeking aid, from captivity. It says that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt. You got Jake in that spirit, going and marching for rights, asking for reparations. It says and have not asked at my mouth, which the mouth of the Lord, represents the prophets, because the prophets are going to bring out the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, right, and ultimately give Jake, our true identity. And it says, and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. All right, and which
Mm-hmm.
which Egypt, that represents bondage, and it says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." You see, and what is America, Babylon the Great? Which is spiritual Egypt. Consider, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. They ultimately consider Jake, all right, these different proverbs and bywords, all right, and ultimately in this time right now, all right, those of Northern Kingdom, they calling them so-called Mexicans, they're deporting them, because you got Jake that ultimately come over here that trust in the shadow of Egypt, that trust in the society, you see, but ultimately that's turned into their confusion, because this place has never, cared about us,
Yeah, because as we're going to play in this video, you're still in slavery. All right, whether you, Jake, want to realize that or not. But one of the things I want to say, that what you was, just going into, all the tribes are suffering from this, this blackness, man. Okay, this sickness, this spell that our people are on, because as we know, the tribe of Judah, the so-called black man, the Negro man, so-called. All right, we know that they're the ones, they're the head tribe, man. Judah's the head tribe. All right, so how they move. Eventually, all the tribes, they feed off of, and move like that. So Esau, Edom created a pretty much a death style, and gave it unto so-called blacks, and all the tribes, pretty much are moving off that same vibration. This is why you see, the different, so-called Native American tribes, so-called, Latino tribes. Hey, they're doing the same wickedness that you see Judah doing, man. You know, because they're still going off of that same vibration. Like you read in Isaiah 30, all right, the black culture holds a dominant stronghold within the tribes, man. And like I said, it's not just black tribes. All right, the so-called brown tribes, man, they are, following that same thing. This is why they said they worship a white god. All right, they celebrate these holidays that center around exploiting you. All right, and you celebrate a custom or culture that's not your own. You know, all these different things all predicated around the same thing of keeping you in a dumbed down state while just be another cog in this damn slavery system that Esau has set up for you, man. You
Can I
know,
get this?
you got it.
This is just laying back on your point. This is Isaiah 1 and verse 5. It says, "Why should ye be stricken any more? Yea, will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick," which the head represents, Judah. And it says, "And the whole heart faint, from the sole of the foot even unto the head." So the whole Israel, all 12 tribes. It says, "From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it." Which soundness goes back to, being whole, being healthy. All right. And what ultimately would allow the nation to be healthy is Yahweh Shai, you see. But you got, 2/3. They ultimately don't want what would give them healing. They're being willfully ignorant. So it says, "There is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores," which those ultimately go back to the curses. And it says, "They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment." You see, because Jake ultimately is too infatuated with the crumbs that Jake essentially, excuse me, that Esau essentially gives him. You know.
Right, because they're in a state of gross darkness, man. Real quick, just to add to your point, Isaiah 60:2. It says, "For behold," I started one actually. It says, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." All right, and that light we know is the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, that has shown us the correct way that we're supposed to walk in. All right, we have been given the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that now guides and corrects our steps, man. It says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." Right. All right. So the Lord is letting us see how this gross darkness, how this blackness has consumed the whole world. Now you got everybody walking in straight up confusion. All right. Because like I said, here it is, so-called, black people have been, fighting for equality for centuries at this point. A decade. Well, I say decades, more than centuries. But either way, it's been years of trying to overcome. You want to be equal with this so-called white man. You want to be able to figure out what you can do to get out of this pit that this devil has dig for you. But the only thing that's going to truly allow you to see the situation that you're in is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because he has to shine that light upon you for you to know the predicament you're in. Because like I said, here it is in 2025, you still got niggas that don't believe they're in slavery with all the shit that Esau was putting out there to let you know that he looks at you as a slave, man. All right. And he's giving you, all right, these leaders that pretty much are supposed to be for your benefit, but then they're just showing you that they're just puppets to help ease your mind into thinking, okay, this slavery is not as bad. I might actually be free, but then like I said, they still treat you like you don't matter because you don't. All right, just like the Black's Law Dictionary said, hey, you niggas are a misnomer. You don't exist. You don't matter in the eyes of the system, in the eyes of law, man. This is why niggas get railroaded like they do. This is why Jake, when they get caught up in Esau's, court systems, they get fucked over, man, because you don't matter. That whole march that George Soros gave to Jake, black lives don't matter because black lives don't exist because there's no such thing as black, man. All right, you have something?
I mean, you had touched on the point of, you said, black don't exist. Pretty much when we look at Esau's society, like he's made the law to where everything is against, Jake, i.e., the 13th Amendment, to where, they did away so-called with slavery, but it went from, actual physical slavery to what they call sharecropping, was just pretty much slavery. But then
Right.
from the sharecropping to the 13th Amendment, because even on top of that, Jake, that's so-called free, but going back to the 13th Amendment, the 13th Amendment makes it legal for those that are incarcerated to essentially still work for free, just because they're incarcerated, you know.
Right.
But I got this too. This is Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power." And pretty much, it says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity." The scriptures say that, roughly paraphrasing, Judah and Israel were oppressed together. We're all in America, Babylon the Great, being oppressed and in its servitude. And it says, "Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments." I'm gonna finish it out. It says, "According
Mm-hmm.
to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power." And ultimately, we sinned, we went off. You see, and we're subject to payments. We're still, we got to pay bills, we got to pay taxes. In this captivity, that shows that we're in captivity.
Mm-hmm. All right, we can play this video real quick. Like I say, anything you want to speak on it, bro, feel free to as well.
Huh.
Matrix is designed to keep your mind occupied. Thoughts, bills, Netflix, TikTok, Instagram, entertainment. They're entertaining your mental body, your mind. Governments, they govern your mind. Because your mind is what attaches you to this physical body, these external factors. So they label you with a name, a job, a reputation, and keep your consciousness stuck in a physical reality because they don't want you astral projecting. They don't want you expanding your consciousness.
She kind of going
You
off
go
on
to other
that part, but
realities every
the
single night.
can you go back to the pyramid? Yeah. So it says on the yeah, it says the body, and then he pretty much was stating, that they keep, Jake focused on stuff that don't really matter. So Jake is into the entertainment. Jake watching the sports. Jake is into basketball, football, and what have you. But it says name. Jake is more so worried about, his name in the streets. Jake is more so worried about, his name in this arena. Jake is worried about his name in that arena. And then also the literal title, black, so-called Native American, Latino, et cetera, et cetera. But it says job. Jake's worried about jobs, reputations. It says trauma, memories, friends, family, worries, bills. What did I say right there?
Interest.
Yeah, interest. Which, I mean, within reason and balance, there's nothing wrong with having those things, you see. But in this society, Esau has put it to where these things are on the forefront of Jake's mind. When truthfully, the scriptures say that we should be serving the Lord. I'm gonna get this real fast. Because in serving the Lord, ultimately, we would have we will be serving our purpose, and we will be in our true identity. This is Quahalat Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." You see, now, ultimately, first and foremost, starting with the man, you see, but as men, we're meant to build, you see, and when Jake is focused on the name, the job, the reputation, the trauma, the memories, the friends, all that is taking attention from what we ultimately supposed to be doing. That's serving the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Because just as I said, this is the matrix, man. When you look up that word matrix, it says in the freedictionary.com, a substance, situation, or environment in which something has its origin, takes form, or is enclosed. And black was a new thing that was brought into the earth here in Babylon the Great. Okay, because like I said, there's no nation of black. All right, there's no race of black. This is a construct that Esau set up, and then within that construct, as it says, something that has its origin, takes form, black has taken on the form of where it started out with, somewhat of, trying to be, a stronghold for our people. It has become a snare unto them to where you look at what black has taken on now, and it's taken on the ways of evil, as the definition said, man. Because when you look at black people now, all right, black people are more demonic than the Edomites, man. You on the precept?
You want me to get some?
Where it said the deeds of how pretty much our deeds have surpassed the deeds of the wicked, roughly paraphrasing.
Con. I believe that's Jeremiah chapter 5. Jeremiah
Uh,
5 and verse 28. It says, they are waxing fat, they shine, yet they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They
mm-hmm.
judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge.
Right, and that's what black has essentially, done. It has now embraced a culture of straight rebellion against Yahweh Shem Shah and Satan worship, man. Because when you operate in the state of rebellion, like the scriptures tell you, rebellion is at the sin of witchcraft, man. All right.
Mhm.
And so Esau has given, our people a culture that has designed them to pretty much forget about the Most High, all right, and blaspheme against them, all right. So this is like what you was going into, you know. Esau has made it to where you focus more on the flesh than you do the actual spirit, man. So you got a lot of people that don't even acknowledge the spirit. They're literally here enclosed in the culture of money, cars, clothes, and hoes, man. All right, all
Mhm.
a nigga's whole life put on this earth is the chase pussy all day, man. Hey, I'm at work with Jake in his 60s. This nigga still talking about getting bitches and shit, man. It just shows you it's sad, man. It's
Yeah.
niggas in his 60, 70, 80 years old don't know that they're a Hebrew Israelite, man. All right. Don't know Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And like I said, their whole life is thinking that this shit that we have been raised up in is life, man. All right. This is why you need that light that we spoke about in Isaiah 60:1, man. Could you grab John 6:63 real quick?
Con. This is John chapter 6 and verse 63. And it says, John 6 and 63, it says, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
Right. And hey, the Lord gave us light again, gave us life again, because we were able to see who we really are. All right, let's go into these scriptures, reading, Deuteronomy 28, learning the curses, all right, learning the blessings, learning the scriptures in its totality to see, hey, this is our book, man. All right, this is our culture. What we have been given here in Babylon the Great was a farce, man. This ain't real life. This ain't our real culture. Because when you look at it, a culture. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look up that definition real quick. If you got something, you go ahead out.
Okay. Um, this is
Matter of fact, speak on what you said about the Matrix thing earlier with the body. You said the body and the name and all that. You was talking about
Con
that
pretty
before the camera
pretty
on.
much yeah, like to reiterate, Esau has made it to where, Jake is more so focused on, a title, an image, and ultimately, going to a name, because that name for black, it's so many different things that uh is entailed in black. You got rap culture, you got, like you said, mentioning dealing with money, women, drugs, stuff like that, and also in that little pyramid had reputation. Jake more so put so much emphasis into all these things when you're not really focused on the stuff that ultimately matters. Can I get this real fast?
Go ahead.
This is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Just going into that, it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, because ultimately the power, the might comes from the Lord. And which the subtitle of this, it says the armor of the Most High. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, when you go into this word for wiles, it says, G3180. It says cunning arts, deceit, craft, trickery, which ultimately, all those things go into, Esau's, cunning arts, deceit, craft, and trickery. The scriptures say that, he has a right hand of falsehood, you know, so he
Mm-hmm.
really relies on that witchcraft. So it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." You see, so ultimately, you know, Jake is seeing with the physical eyes, you know, but you got two sets of eyes. You know, really, what you should be feeding the second set, well, really the first set of eyes, you know, the first or the physical eyes. That's what you see with these. You know, when you look at the spiritual eyes, they're really the ones that we supposed to be looking through. You know, because ultimately, you know, Esau has put it to where Jake is looking at tangibles, looking at, you know, the things that he can touch, the things that he can actually see. You see, but ultimately we should be focusing on the spirit. You know, but it
Right.
says, you
If
about
I
to say
can
something,
ask
bro?
you real quick, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because just dealing with that point you just made, our people, they haven't been taught how to truly operate, you know, in life. Because yeah, we have been given, you know, that what you call the five senses, you know, sight, you know, hearing, smell, taste, and feeling. But you
Mm-hmm.
also have the you know, the sixth and seventh sense as well, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
which goes into the spirit of the Lord. So I'm gonna get that real quick.
I get it for you.
Uh, Sirach 17,
And
read
five.
you read from 1 all the way down to 5.
Okay. This is Bonsarot 17 and verse 1. It says, "The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again. He gave them few days in a short time, and power also over the things therein.
Mm-hmm.
He endued them with strength by themselves, and made them according to his image,
Mm-hmm.
and put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowls."
Now, you know, reading this, it's not speaking about all humans. It's speaking about the chosen lineage that the Lord had a special connection with, man. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5, it says, "They received the use of the five operations of the Lord, and in the sixth place he imparted them understanding, and in the seventh speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof."
Right. So the elements of the spirit, which is the sixth and seventh sense, being all right. The six being understanding, and then seven being, you know, pretty much, you know, speech, or and then also reason to be able to understand the speech. So I'm gonna read this in the GNT for verse 5. It says, "The Lord gave them five senses, and He also gave them a sixth intelligence and a seventh reason, which enables them to interpret what comes to them through the senses." All right, and when these two senses are dulled, all right, this is how Esau Edom was able to pretty much, you know, confine our people within the construct of this, you know, of this system. Because to have the spirit dulled is to be dead. We read that earlier in Proverbs 21:16, right?
Mm-hmm. Let me get it
Yeah.
again.
So yeah, get it again, Baba Kushah.
Okay. This is Mashal Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 16. It says, "The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead."
Right. So when you wander out of the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which are the ways of understanding, which all is predicated upon the fear of the Lord, all right, you pretty much you become dead. This is how we became dead as a nation, man. All right. When we, you know, stopped fearing the Lord and were separated from our power. All right. And that's how, you know, your spiritual senses became dull, or what you call your third eye was closed, man. All right. And Esau, you know, did this through his system to where the foods, just using that as an example, the foods that was given unto our people, that's the reason why our people are in that dead state spiritually, okay? Because they don't realize that when you eat pork, when you eat shrimp, crab, lobster, things that the Lord forbade us to eat, that it calcifies your pineal gland on top of the fluoride and shit they're putting in the water, and the barium oxide and aluminum they're spraying in the air. It's constant things that Esau Edom is doing throughout this kingdom, all right, that, you know, is attacking your spirit, like you read earlier in Ephesians 6 and 12, man. All right, we're dealing with high level, you know, Satanists and demonic forces that's trying to keep your spirit distracted, all right, from what's going on in this world, man. you know. And like I said, when you're under the covering of black, you know, you're putting a zombie, you're putting yourself in a zombified state. This is why when you see niggas have that glazed over look in themselves, man. These niggas are glorifying death. They're not alive, man. Only a degenerate celebrates, death. You have Issachar with a whole holiday, Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead, man. All right, you got niggas that make made a living off of drill music, which is just the murdering, all right, of their fellow brother. Okay, rap music, period, is the rapping of you killing your brother, whether it's physically, whether it's you breaking up his house through adultery, all right, whatever the case may be. It's a glorification of death. This is why we read earlier how the deeds of the righteous have the wickedness of the righteous have overpassed the deeds of the wicked. Roughly paraphrasing, man. You know, and these are all through the connotations of you embracing a lifestyle called black. All right. That's what that label, when you put that label on yourself, that covenant upon yourself, you become that, man. You know, you got it out.
Okay. This Deuteronomy 4:4 says, "But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your power are alive every one of you this day.
Mm.
Behold," in which how we cleave unto the Lord, ultimately is subscribing to his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I'm gonna get this
Mm-hmm.
word for cleave real fast. It says dabak, and it says clinging, adhering to. It says stick closer, joining. You know, so ultimately, again, subscribing to the scriptures. It says your power are alive. Excuse me. Deuteronomy 4:4 says, "But ye that did cleave unto the Lord, your power are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." So
Yeah.
ultimately, we're to keep and to do, and to observe, the scriptures, the law, statutes, and commandments. You see, because that's ultimately what keeps us alive. You know,
Yeah.
and then also, that goes into, the fear of the Lord, which is of utmost importance.
Yeah. That's the beginning of knowledge and wisdom, is the fear of the Lord. All right. For you to be alive, you have to fear the Lord. All right.
Mhm.
Because when you look at creation in itself, creation fears the Lord. This is why when natural disasters happen, what happens, man? The animals they migrate, and they do weird shit because they this program in them that already have that fear within them, man.
Mhm.
All right. It's only Israel that don't fear the Lord. Because guess what? Even the heathen, they fear the Lord. Okay, James 2:19. Thou believest there is one God, thou do as well. The devils also believe and tremble. So these devils even fear the Lord, but they see their pride is what makes them rebel against him. And they have instilled that same, pride and that hate into our people through black culture, which has taught you to hate God, man. All right. Self-hatred all the way up until the actual hatred of the most high, to where you have like stupid shit going around, like for example, that stupid trend these YouTube niggas or whatever platform they be on, where they're going around asking people name 5 books in the Bible, and our people can't even do that. It shows you how detached they have become. But see, when it comes to from nigga shit, they can tell you that all day. Black shit, give me five Cardi B songs. All right, give me who's better statistically between LeBron and Jordan. All right, they can tell you all the facts about Black History Month. All right, George Washington Carver invented fucking peanut butter in year whatever. Madam C.J. Walker made the hot comb. Rosa Parks did this. Malcolm X did this. Whatever. But when it comes to the spirit of the Lord and reading what's in the scriptures, they can't tell you nothing, man. That's by design, man. You know. But our people take pride in that, man. You know. Getting this real quick. This is Revelation chapter 11 and 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt." And those dead bodies is speaking of you so-called Negro Latino Native Americans, man. All right. As we read earlier, you are the Walking Dead. That show that they have on TV, That was them making mockery of you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man, because you literally are the walking dead, man. All right, you don't know who you are spiritually. It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues, because just speaking on that once more, this is why you have countries overseas making, mockery of our people being asleep. Like you had Russia a few years ago make that song with that choir, pretty much talking about bombing America while the Negroes sleep or while the niggas sleep, because they know who you are, just like everybody else in the world except here. All right, the Hebrew Israelites, all right, are the best kept secret that everybody but the Hebrew Israelites know. All right, so it says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves, because we understand that it was a council that was taken upon, all the heathen, as you read about in Psalms 83, that they came together to do what? Take the name of Israel out the earth. Real quick, this is Psalms 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? All right, and what's that vain thing? For Israel to be completely, done away with, man. All right, but we know that Yahweh Shema Shah through prophecy wasn't going to fully allow that to happen. He allowed it to happen for a period of time, all right, because that 350-year period we read about in Revelation 11, Israel was out the earth, but eventually the Lord, put the Spirit upon our people again. All right, and most notably, we go off of the teachings of our elders, High Priest Abba Bivens. All right, but there was other men alongside him that knew they were Israelites as well. But it wasn't until High Priest Abba Bivens came and he started to go into who was Esau, and from there, the truth began to come back into the earth. But it says, verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. And that's what they did when they finally got the nation of Israel in their hands, was, destroy us and then build a system, a place for us to be in that preys upon us being in that dead, statement. All right. So going back to Revelation 11 and 10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. And that's what happened. All right. When you look at what happened during the transatlantic slave trade, all right, our people were sold on auction blocks unto each other, to these other nations, man. All right. And they as it says in Joel 3 and 3, man. All right. Our boys were sold at for harlots. Our women were selling for wine. And they allowed us to be put all over the world. This is that curse you read about in Deuteronomy 28 about how we was going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth, man. All right. But what the point we're at now is where that black culture shit is being done away with, because the spirit of life is entering back into the earth. Verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of the Most High, a spirit of life from the Most High, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them, which is circling back to what we read in Isaiah 60 and 1. All right, that spirit of life entered back into us, man. All right, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the breath that has been, that has put us back on our feet and began to have us shine again, man. You got it, Doc.
I got a quick one. This is Yashaya, Isaiah 25 and 7. It says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast, of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. All right, just tying it back into the point, that Esau was able to, he was able to ultimately, hide behind, the deception and the witchcraft of, hiding the true identity of the nations. You see, but ultimately, this truth is coming into, the earth. The scriptures say that the Lord, the knowledge of the glory of the Lord will come to earth as it does the sea, and that's ultimately, what's going on. It's exposing. I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Isaiah 28 and verse 17, and it says, "Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place." And that hiding place for Esau ultimately goes into his deception. Ultimately, this truth is sweeping away those lies.
Right.
Pursuant to, 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, verses 4 to 5. This truth is exposed in everything. Ecclesiastes 3:15 goes into the Lord requiring that which is past. That word for require goes into bakwash, which means that inquisition to search out.
Yeah. Because one of the things that was searched out and that we have come to conclusion is that as long as our people continue to embrace this whole, connotation of being called black, you cannot serve the most high, man. All right. Because like we said earlier, you embracing black is meaning that you're embracing death, being dead, man. All right. When the Lord is a power to living, he wants to be worshiped. All right. This is Isaiah 38:18. For the grave cannot praise thee, death cannot celebrate thee. They that go down into the pit cannot hope for thy truth. And this is a direct message to our people. All right. You cannot serve the Most High in your dead state, man. You have to be brought back to life again through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. You have to experience that spiritual resurrection that all the elect, is going through now, man. Okay, because as I said, they that go down into the pit cannot hope for that truth, and the pit being this system. All right, this place, America, man. All right, this place that wants you to be black. This is why they send out guys like Vocab Malone and these different scoffers to keep you, from coming into the light, man. All right, to keep you black, to keep you in the dark, man. Like they tell us, why don't you just come back to the Christian church, man? Why don't you just stay black and die, man? Is essentially what they tell us, without saying it. Verse 19, the living, the living, he shall praise thee as I do this day. The father of the children shall make known thy truth. Right. And this is what Yahweh Shem Shai is doing with us, man. Is making us alive again so that we can worship him. Because as we just read, from the grave, all right, that praise cannot go unto the Lord because he's the power of the living. All right. So he wants his praise, all right, from his people. All right. And you're not praising Yahweh by Shemi Shah, still calling yourself a black Hebrew Israelite, man. All right, that's a no, that's a oxymoron, man. Okay, you can't be black and you can't be dead and alive at the same time, man. Okay, you got something?
Not right now.
Come, uh, let's get Micah 2:10 because I want to kind of speak back on that, on that matrix thing real quick.
This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction."
Right, and this is why essentially we tell our people, all right, to pretty much, get your spirits out this place, man. All right, hold Jeremiah 51:6. But this is why we tell our people to, to pretty much, get your mind out of here because this place is not going to be forwarding anything that our people are trying to do here, in this country. All right. America's destruction is imminent. All right. So in order for our people to truly look at a way to prosper, man, you have to take your spirit out this place and look for things after. All right. Which what we have to look forward to is the kingdom of heaven. All right. But in the kingdom of heaven, ain't gonna be no black people. There ain't gonna be no niggas. It's not gonna be no Mexicans. It's not gonna be no Cherokee Indian or no fucking Taino or whatever. No, it's gonna be Hebrew Israelites ruling, all right, from whatever prospective tribe you hail from, all right, ruling over all the other heathen nations, man. All right. That's what you gotta look forward to. But see, it in black and that whole black culture, they want you to pretty much, shoot for equality, but even in the talks of equality, it's still having a sense of inferiority under so-called white people, under Edomites, man. Because, like I said, black people they want you to be Christians, and Christians worship a white God, man. So that right there is a crazy ass, contradiction, man, because you had that rapper King Los that did that freestyle on LA Leakers, where he said that hey, the people that enslaved you turn around and want you to worship a god that looks like them. So if the so-called white man, let's say he is the chosen people, let's just play devil's advocate real quick. if he was so-called, God's chosen people, you think that his white God would accept you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans into his heaven? Hell no. Because you see what they're doing to you on earth. So it won't make you think heaven's going to be any different, man. This is why we understand that this system, it has to be done away with from the inside out, which is why 2 Corinthians 10:4 and 5 tells you that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but by the pulling down of strongholds, man. All right, we are bringing this thing down bit by bit with the truth to show what the whole thing of what this devil has done to our people to keep us in this state, man. All right, you got it up.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 6. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is
Mm-hmm.
the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense."
Right, and that's what our people are commanded to do, man, to flee out of the midst of Babylon. When it says flee, it's not speaking of actually leaving on a boat or a plane. All right, you're hearing these jakes come up with this flee doctrine. All right, learning, when they learn that they're Israelites, man. But the Lord told us that we're actually going to be, delivered with His own hands. All right, so we're not to actually leave physically, man. Okay, because hey, as a show forth of faith, we know that our Savior is going to deliver us out of here. So when it says flee out of the midst of Babylon, it's saying to pretty much take your mind, your spirit out this place, man. Yeah, we're here for the time being, but our spirits are on to the next kingdom. All right, like I said, we have no continuing city here because we're looking for a world that's going to come. I see that duel of righteousness, man. All right. So it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul, and be not cut off in her iniquity. Because if you want to keep yourself here and still chase the American dream, all right, trying to, build up the black community and do all this bullshit, then you're going to be cut off when this place is cut off, man. You're going to be destroyed when the Lord let loose that lake of fire and burn this place to a crisp, man. Okay?
Mm.
You got something else?
No, not right now.
That's pretty much all I had.
Kanye ain't had nothing.
All right, so shit, we can go ahead and close it then. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right, we want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well, and peace and salutation to the elect. Until next time, we say Shalom.
Shalom.